Hello, and welcome back to the Bober Academy Football Podcast as we continue our Lineman of the Week series. I'm your host, Chris Bober, 8-year NFL veteran, 4 years with the Giants, 4 years with the Chiefs, have the distinction of starting a game at every position on the offensive line while I was in the NFL. I'm also the founder of the Bober Academy, where our mission is to train and develop superior linemen to dominate on the gridiron. And just before we get started, I just want to remind everyone, if you are listening to this podcast, be sure to subscribe to this podcast on whichever app you're listening to, so you get notified of new episodes. If you're watching on YouTube, right down there is a subscribe button. If you'd subscribe to my channel, I sure would appreciate it. And our handle is @Bober Academy on all the social media channels. So whatever they do in the social media world, the retweets, the likes, the comments, the things like that, we'd love to hear back from you and continue to make great offensive line play a big deal again. So I'm so excited this week because going outside of the Omaha Metro just a little bit with Battle Creek High School. And I'm joined today by head coach Andrew Carlson and left tackle and defensive end Dawson Amick from Battle Creek. They're off to a great start this year. Guys, thanks for joining me on the podcast this week.
Thanks for having us.
Well, again, it's so exciting because as I continue to grow the Bober Academy, I get to train linemen from all over. And this summer I had an offensive line camp, and Mr. Dawson Amick came down there all the way from Battle Creek. And I tell you what, Coach, he had a heck of a camp. I mean, our kids, my prep kids, I'm also the O-line coach at Creighton Prep for you guys that are watching and listening. And I had a lot of my guys there, and plus guys from all over. We had guys from Iowa, from Missouri. But Dawson was one of the guys that all my guys told me he was just country strong. They couldn't touch him. They couldn't get by him. They couldn't block him. Whatever he was doing, he did a heck of a job. And, just a junior this year. And I know he's getting a lot of looks, but he's definitely someone I'm glad we have on the podcast to talk more. But, Coach, let's talk about the starts of the season, because you guys are undefeated and have beat some pretty good teams this year. Tell me about your team as you what you thought coming into the season you'd have, and then how they've lived up to your expectations so far this year.
Well, coming into the year, we knew we had the potentially a pretty tough football team, just because we brought back a ton of guys that have played for us. Our junior class is a big group. We have 20 juniors, which is a large number for a C2 school. And of those 20, I mean, the majority of them have lettered, and a bunch of them have started at least a year. And some of them, like Dawson, have started games since their freshman year. And so, we had high expectations. We did have to replace some really good players. So, there's always that uncertainty of how the new guys are going to step into those roles. But, we knew pretty quick that the potential to be pretty good was there, just based on how everything kind of slid into place and how guys stepped up into those new positions and roles.
Yeah, I mean, you started off the season with some really big wins. I know Ord was a big rival you had, and you've kind of rolled off some really big wins so far this year, which has been great. You're getting into kind of district play now, and district play is I've learned as a high school coach that the non-district games, yes, they're important, but it's the district that you really want to do well in, because that's what determines your playoff seeding and all those things like that. Now, Dawson, you guys are off to a 5-0 start this year. Tell me about, how the season's gone for you guys, not just you and the O-line, but for your team. How do you feel starting out 5-0?
It's been pretty fun. I mean, like you said, Ord was a really fun game. We knew going into it that was going to be a game that was going to set the tempo for the rest of the year. And luckily we've kept everybody healthy for the most part, and it's been fun so far. So we're looking forward to the rest of the season. Nice.
So Dawson, what's your favorite game so far this year?
Probably the Ord game. That was good. That was fun to go away, beat them at home, and that was a big win.
Tell me how, give us the viewers and the listeners out there just a rundown of how that game went, because I know it was a tough game. You guys came out on top, but how'd that game go for you guys?
Pretty good. We got some momentum early. Couple big hits on the quarterback, and he didn't keep hold of the ball. So we had a couple good scores early, and then we put it away in the second half. But yeah, that was a fun game.
Nice. And always good to beat a rival like that. Now, Coach, you got a really big game coming up this week, right? Norfolk Catholic, I believe, is who you're playing. Another undefeated team. They're in your district, I believe. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Now tell me about going into this game. I know, we're in the middle of a week of practice here, but tell me about your kind of going into this game, how you were talking to your guys. Are you talking to them about, district play, a really good team? What's your approach been to this week and playing such a good team?
Well, it's been pretty businesslike, to be real honest. Our kids, like I said before, they're very experienced, and they know the importance of every game, week in, week out. This is a district game. It is against Norfolk Catholic, who's a next door neighbor and a rival.
Mm-hmm.
And the two schools have very rich program histories and have played each other in many regular season and postseason games and championship games. So, there's just a lot of connections within the two schools. But the big thing is just, districts like you brought up earlier. It seems like if you can win our district at the C2 level, you have yourself a really good position to compete for a state championship, which is obviously the ultimate goal. So, we want to come out and we want to play well in this game because it's a district game. It's a chance to get one step closer to a district championship. And, the big thing is just see where we're at right now. They're the number one team in the state. Last year we had a good game with them. They beat us 28-7, but it was competitive. We just had some turnovers and they made some big plays that we couldn't overcome. But like I said, it's just a chance to go out and compete and kind of get a feel for where we're at this point in time in the year.
Yeah, it's great to go see where you are playing against a really good team like that, especially this time of year when you've had some chances to some time to get kind of discover your identity and what you want to be. Now, Dawson, it sounds like this is a pretty big rivalry game. I know it's not very far away. Do you have a lot of crossover? Do you know a lot of guys that you're going to play against? Give me your thoughts on playing against Norfolk Catholic this week.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a lot of friends go there. But throughout, I guess, all of our lives, it's just been, that's the game of the year is Norfolk Catholic versus Battle Creek. And last year, like he said, very competitive game, but they came out on top. And this year we're hoping to switch that.
Yeah. So you said a lot of guys that are playing over there? So
oh, yeah.
Have you guys had a little maybe kind of discussion a little bit? Is it kind of for bragging rights in this game within your community and being so close to Norfolk?
I guess so, yeah. I haven't really thought of it like that, but yeah, a lot of the guys I've known my whole life go there, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, that's a good thing, and your coach and I will tell you this: when you get older like this, these are the kind of games you remember. When you're in the community later on and you're watching as an alumni. It's those rivalry games are the ones that you kind of have a little back and forth with your rivals. And it's not so, I guess it's not so much in high school because you're just focused in on playing the game. But, there's probably a lot of alumni that are going to be out wanting you guys to win this game. And of course their side will too. So it's always fun. Should be a great atmosphere. Are you guys playing at home or on the road, Coach?
We're at home.
Oh, home game. So that'll be a big one. That'll be a big one. Well, that's awesome. All right, Coach, tell me about now. Of course, you talked about your team, but we're offensive linemen, so we're going to talk about offense. Tell me about your offense. I know you got some really good players over there. You got a great running back. Tell me about what some of the guys you have, and then kind of what is your philosophy on offense as you go into each week and against great teams like this.
Well, philosophically, everything kind of starts with us with I formation and downhill run. We run a ton of ISO and counter, a little bit of power, a little bit of trap, but that's where everything originated from. And then this year we've kind of transitioned more. We're a lot more gun wing formations. And we have a quarterback named Jackson Metler. That's a good runner who complements Trent Euler, who's our running back, who's a fine player. And it's just made us a lot more explosive there. And we've done a really good job of getting to the edge, running option and running outside zone, which has kind of been a new addition for us. And it's just really utilizes what we have up front. We have big tackles for our level, Dawson, and we have a sophomore starter named Connor Heiderman, who's a big kid as well that's got a lot of potential. And those guys are really good about getting to the edge. And we have quick guards that it allows them kind of to showcase their athleticism as well. And it's just kind of fit us really well at this point in time. And it's created a good blend for us with our inside run, but also being able to get to the edge. And then Jackson as a passer has been very efficient for us this year. So it's been really good. Been really good there.
Yeah, so it sounds like you kind of want to control the tempo of the game, possess the ball, keep the ball out of your opponent's hands, and kind of wear them down. And I got to tell you, as an offensive lineman and an O-line coach, I love to hear that too, right? Run the ball, wear them down, and take over and win the second half in the fourth quarter. Dawson, tell me, uh, again, Coach talked about your offense, but I know you guys have a really good running back. I think I saw he's committed to go to Nebraska. I think
Yep.
good football player. Tell me about some of your guys that you're blocking for and what they bring to this offense.
I think we got a lot of good backs. I mean, Trent's big dude. He's 6'1", 230. So I mean, he can move too. So if you get hit by him, it doesn't feel good. So we've got him, and then Wyatt Narodzik, kid in my class. He's very good. Aiden Pokup, he's very quick. He can shift around a lot. I think our backfield's pretty strong. So
another guy that needs to get recognized is Landon Wynant, is our fullback and wing. And Landon has really been the straw that stirs the drink on a lot of the stuff we do. He's very multiple in how we can use him too. And
I love that you have a fullback, man. That's what I love about high school football. You still got fullbacks in there, and they're leading the way, and they're kind of like the sixth O lineman out there,
Absolutely.
right? They don't get much, and maybe get a trap play every once in a while that they catch a ball in the flat, but they're the ones sticking their nose in there and doing that, just playing power football. And if you don't have a fullback that can do that, you become kind of limited. So sounds like that. And Dawson, in this offense, I see you're playing left tackle. Tell me about kind of what you like about the offense and what they have asked you to do up there.
I don't know. I think offense I've always liked it better than defense. I don't know why. I blocked for my brother freshman year, and that was really fun to get to play with him. So playing left tackle for him was probably my highlight so far, and that has just carried on the past 2 years. So I just enjoy it more. I don't know what about it, but it's just fun.
Okay, what's your favorite play? Like if Coach asked you to call a play, what play are you going to call?
34 counter, man.
34 counter. What are you doing on 34 counter?
Pulling up to backer.
Nice. 34 sounds like an OT counter where you're pulling around and getting out there and getting in space. And I know Dawson, having coached him a little bit, and I've watched his film, and not only is he a big, powerful guy, but he's a pretty darn good athlete out there in space too. And I always liked as lineman, when you pull around, you just knew that you're bigger than the guys you're going to be hitting, right? So you just pick that front side number and you run right through them, and you got a back like you have, and he makes you right every time, sets off your block. And those are highlights for a lineman. You know what I mean? That's kind of like if your back gets a big run and you're pulling around, you're kind of part of the highlights. So that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Nice. All right, Coach, let's narrow down here a little bit and talk about the offensive line. Tell me about your guys up front. Sounds like you got a good group coming back. We got Dawson up here, but tell me about some of your other guys on the offensive line and what they allow you to do.
Well, I'll just kind of go left to right. Dawson's our left tackle. Our left guard is Gavin Olson, who's a junior. He's a guy that started some games as a freshman for us. Kind of a shorter, squattier guy that you'll find with our guards and centers. They're not as big as like Dawson is, but 220-pound guy that's around 5'10", and a very smart physical football player. Our center is Dakota Zlomke, and it's kind of a carbon copy with our interior three. He's the same way. He's been a starter for the last 2 years now at center for us, and as a freshman started some games at tackle, and we moved him to center, and it's been a real natural fit. He's just great inside. He does a great job of manipulating bodies, getting them where they need to be, and getting us in the right positions. And then our right guard is Breck Thompson. Breck is kind of a unique lineman because he's definitely the guy that doesn't look like a lineman. And at our level, we get guys where you got to kind of plug and play where you think they're going to be the best fit for your team. He's only like 5'9", 190 pounds, but the guy is a weight room freak. He's super explosive. He's super aggressive. He's a very emotional player. You need that guy that's kind of a little bit of a rah-rah guy sometimes. He gets everybody going. And then our right tackle is a sophomore named Connor Heiderman, who is around 6'3", 250-pound kid that's really blossomed this year. He just kind of came out of, we knew he was a good player as a freshman, but he made a huge jump for us as a sophomore now. And he's been a real dominating player for us as well. So it's a great group. They're all juniors or sophomores, and
Wow.
our guys coming off the bench. We rotate a lot of linemen. We have a couple seniors, and Jacob Anderson that plays tackle for us, rotates at both tackle spots, and Josiah Volk, who's a guard, another good player for us. And then we have another junior in Mason Planner, who's our biggest guy. He's about 6'2", 270, and he's a real explosive guy that's done a great job as a guard for us as well. So we're fortunate. We got a lot of linemen. We play a lot of guys. It creates a great practice atmosphere because when you know you're going to play, your preparation and practice that week is just at a higher level because you know you have to be dialed in. And whether it's individual drills, team time, you name it, we have kids getting after each other just because they know that they got to in order to not get whooped, because we have some good kids we're going against. But two, they know they're going to play on Friday night, so they have to be ready for it.
Yeah, and that's great. It helps with the development of your program because you're never taking and losing a whole group of guys and having to throw a bunch of guys who never played football before. Coach, I got a question for you. Where do you find these big guys? I mean, you don't have a big school. You're not in a very populated area. I mean, you're getting these guys off the farm, or these guys. You got some big dudes, man.
You know what? We're fortunate right now. There's no doubt about it. We've kind of had a run of bigger kids here recently. I will say that, but there's been a lot of years we're starting guys that are 180 pounds, 170 pounds. But right now we're fortunate. There's no doubt about it. We have a lot of big kids and that love football, and we're just very fortunate.
Well, whatever the diner or the buffet or the high school buffet is doing, they're doing a heck of a job because you're putting some big dudes out there. So that's awesome. Okay, Dawson, tell me, Coach is giving me the version of your guys, and he's like, this guy's explosive, this guy's good, but give me some better stuff about your guys. You know what I mean? I mean, who's the funny guy? I mean, you got maybe a story or two you can tell about your guys. I mean, this is your chance to I'm going to put this on YouTube. It's going to be on Twitter. What do you want to say about your guys up front, and maybe some stuff that some people don't know?
Oh, I'd say our funny guys are Gavin Olson and Breck Thompson. They both get after it, but they can be a little goofy sometimes. I don't know. Connor Heidemann's can be the same way too. I don't know of any stories I can tell that'd be good on here.
Yeah, this is we can't get too crazy here. This is kind of PG-13, or else I get banned on a bunch of sites. But I mean, what's it like playing with these guys? I mean, I always talk about how being out there in that huddle on Friday nights, Saturday afternoon, or I got to play on Sundays and be in a huddle. It's a pretty special place, right? And coaches can't be out there. It's just you guys. Tell me about your huddle. You know what I mean? Who's the guy that's getting guys pumped up? I mean, what's it like to be out there on Friday night with your boys in that huddle going to battle?
It's a lot of fun. Like Coach said, it's a very experienced group. A lot of times, I mean, we all know what we need to do, and it's just going out there and doing it. I mean, they're a really fun group to play with because everyone knows their job and everyone does it well. So it's been a lot of fun so far, and I'm looking forward for the rest of the season because it's going to be good.
Now, have you guys, like your team, have you guys all grown up playing together, being in like a smaller community like that? Do you guys play like Pee Wee football, middle school? So these guys that are on your team now, have you guys been together for a long time?
Yeah, most of us have played the YMCA, or Connor and I know played Rampage together. So, I mean, I've had Jackson as a quarterback since like third grade. So it's been a lot of fun because, I mean, most of our team has played together at some point. And, yeah, we've all grown up together. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that makes it even more special that you guys kind of have that to lean on each other. I know that, during a game and when you hit some adversity or something, you can just kind of give a guy a look and you kind of know it's coming. I tell you what, your quarterback's pretty lucky to have a left tackle like you protect him for all these years. So he's got to be pretty happy with you. So that's awesome. All right, Coach, as we kind of get towards the end here and finish up, tell me about, I know a lot of coaches always have like a motto or a theme for their for every year. Do you subscribe to that, or do you have one this year? Or, I mean, what is your message to your team? This usually starts about, I don't know, in the spring, then you get to the summer, you kind of have a thing, you know what I mean? What has your message been to your guys this year?
Mine's kind of this is my 12th year as the head coach, and I've been teaching at Battle Creek and coaching for 19 now.
Mm-hmm.
And, for me, it's more, commitment to excellence is kind of the term I've used a lot, and I put on shirts and stuff, I guess would be a term, but we really pride ourselves on really three things. And that's being hardworking, being accountable, and being a good teammate. And it's a culture thing. Like I said, there's not really a slogan for it. It's kind of the way that we do things year in, year out since I've been a head coach that we pride ourselves on. And, those three things have been staples for us that have really led us to where we're at and being a very consistent program that's making deep playoff runs. Our kids work incredibly hard. They're accountable to each other, and they really do treat everybody well. We're incredibly fortunate as coaches and teachers to be at Battle Creek because we have a very good school system. We have a strong community. Our kids, they know each other, and it's a small school. I get that too. That's a perk of a small school, but our kids are good to each other, and it doesn't matter if you're a member of our team or not. We just have a lot of good kids that care and treat each other well, and that you see that into our football program, I think, big time, that we really do a good job of taking care of our kids, and that keeps them out because football is a numbers game, and we're fortunate to usually have pretty darn good numbers here, and I think it's all tied into that. So that's kind of where we're at, I guess.
Well, it sounds like you developed quite a culture there, and it's something that is a year-round thing. As a coach, this is, you got to instill this into these guys, and that the standard that you've set has been set by the players before you. Now the younger guys have to live up to that. And it sounds like you've had some great leadership there, obviously in the coaching side, but with the older guys teaching the younger guys, and now the younger guys are coming in and they're becoming the leaders and things like that. So you're continually molding these young boys into young men. And then, of course, sounds like one of your goals is to put them out in the world to be great leaders in our society. So congratulations, Coach. That's a heck of a job. Okay, Dawson, finish up with you now. Anyone who's watching this or listening to this, if you want to follow Dawson on Twitter, go look at his Huddle account. I know he's a junior. I can tell you firsthand that this dude's a big dude. He's strong. He's athletic. He's got so much that he can do already, but there's also so much potential. So give him a look out there for all the coaches that are watching this. I give him a little plug in for Dawson. I like to plug my guys. But, Dawson, tell me about how do you want to see this year go? Now, the standard answer is you want to win a state championship. But tell me about your thoughts about your team and, where you're headed and what you need to kind of keep doing, in that framework of a team to get to where you want to go. What do you think is going to take to get you guys all the way to a state championship?
I think we just need to play as a team. We've done a good job doing that so far. We just got to continue. I know the last couple of years we've lost in the semifinals, and that's hurt. I know everyone that's playing now has been a part of that, and it's not fun. So I think we stick together as a team, and we've continued to grow every week. And so by week 13 or playoffs, whenever, it's going to be good.
Yeah. And the one thing I've learned is that, you want to win, you want to get past that semifinal round or whatever, quarterfinals, whatever it is, you can't just turn it on that week. That foundation's got to be laid now. And it's been being laid since you lost that game. You got that taste in your mouth that you kind of feel. You got to kind of remember that when you go out to practice every day. It's like, okay, we had a pretty good practice, but we need to put a little bit more in because it's going to pay off for us down the road, especially in those playoff games. So sounds like you guys are doing that. Sounds like you guys have a great culture out there, but Battle Creek, you guys have done a heck of a job this year. I look forward to great things. Best of luck this week. I know you got a big game, man. Those rivalry games are big ones. So I hope you come out of it with a win. Hope you guys stay healthy, and then hopefully it keeps on building towards that elusive state championship you guys are trying to get to. So again, before we finish up, I just want to remind everyone that's watching or listening to subscribe to our channel on your podcast app. Again, right down there, right down there is the YouTube app. You can subscribe to our channel there, and of course at Bober Academy and all the social media. So Coach Carlson, Dawson Amick, thank you so much for joining us. I can't wait to see the results this week and see you guys have continued success. So thank you so much. And I'll put this out for everyone to see, and best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity.